natural or open harmonics and how to play them. And this is also lesson 22 of the GCH Guitar Academy fingerstyle guitar course. However, this particular video doesn't need to be used as part of the course, as this technique is used in virtually all styles of play. And before we try to understand a little bit what open harmonics are, let's just learn to play the first open harmonic. How to play open harmonics, the first harmonic. Here's what the first harmonic sounds like on each of the strings. Notice that the symbol for a harmonic is a diamond around the note you're playing as a harmonic. Quite often you see an NH above the tab, standing for natural harmonic as well. But watch out with tablets you download off the internet, because many of them symbolise a natural harmonic in different ways. Right, let's try playing the first harmonic on the top E string. And the first thing you need to do is touch the string very lightly above the 12th fret. And when I say above the 12th fret, I mean directly above the fret line and not in the gap between the frets. And when you touch the string, it's very light. You're not bending the string or pushing it down in any way. You're literally just touching it. Then you pluck the string. And if you get a good note, pull your finger away straight away. Because if you leave your finger in place, it actually starts muting the note. Whereas if you get a good harmonic and you pull the finger away, it should ring on, like this. If you're not getting a harmonic, there's a few things we can check. The first thing is to make sure your finger is directly above the 12th fret. And it must be the 12th fret. The 11th or 13th fret won't work. Now, also make sure you're literally just touching the string. And after you've plucked the note, pull your finger away straight away. Now, when plucking the string, make sure you don't pluck it too hard, because by doing that, you're causing the string to move. So the finger should just be touching the string, and by moving it, you're either moving it away from your fingering hand or into it. Another thing that helps if you're not getting a clean harmonic is to pluck the string quite close to the bridge. And this also prevents movement in the string. So theoretically you should get a cleaner harmonic. Now you might need to pause this video here and just practice that for a minute, because I find when I'm teaching one-to-one, most people don't get this on the first attempt. They have to just play with it for a minute. And once you get a fairly clean harmonic, try it on each of the strings. Right, before we go any further, I'll just explain what harmonics are. What are harmonics? For this explanation, I'm going to simplify things slightly, just to make it easier to understand. So, for example, the waveform I've simplified to a sine wave, whereas your guitar actually produces a more complicated wave. This is how the waveform looks using an oscilloscope. But by illustrating it with a sine wave, it's far easier to see what's going on. When you play an open string on your guitar, we can refer to this as the fundamental frequency. So, for example, If you play the top E string, we can call this the fundamental. However, the top E string, when you play it normally, it consists of the fundamental frequency plus all the harmonics. And it's this balance of harmonics that gives your guitar its unique sound. Now, when you play a harmonic, you're preventing the fundamental frequency from ringing, as well as the other harmonics, and therefore you're isolating the harmonic you're playing. So you predominantly hear the harmonic we're trying to hear, and this is why it sounds so different from the guitar in its natural state. And this is also why we can only achieve harmonics on particular frets. If you try to get harmonics between the frets, it's either very difficult or they just don't exist at all. We call the harmonics the first harmonic, second harmonic, third harmonic, etc., etc., as they get higher in tone. Right, let's take a look at the first four harmonics. Exercise 1. When looking at the first four harmonics, it's worth noting that they get harder as you progress. Harmonic 1 is easy, the second harmonic is harder, the third harmonic is harder still, and the fourth harmonic is very hard. And when you play the harmonics, you might notice that the first harmonic is the same as the fretted note, the second harmonic is an octave above that fretted note, and the third harmonic is 2 octaves above the fundamental. Now, the fourth harmonic is really hard to play. However, it helps slightly that the same harmonic appears twice on the neck of the guitar. So you can try both frets and hopefully you'll find one easier to play. Exercise 1A. And this is just doing what we've already done really, which is to play the harmonic on the 12th fret, which is the first harmonic. And I'll play one harmonic per bar, just so you can follow along with the 2-bar introduction. So here's exercise 1A. If you think you can, try playing along with me again with a 2-bar introduction. With all these exercises, you might need to pause the video and practice them for a moment, because they're not that straightforward, especially if you've never done harmonics before. Here's exercise 1A one last time, and then we'll move on to the next part of the exercise. Exercise 1B. This is the second harmonic, which is played by touching the string above the 7th fret. And here's what exercise 1B sounds like being played with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again with a 2-bar introduction in case you want to try and play along. Right, let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise 1C. And this is the third harmonic, which is played by touching the string above the 5th fret. And they're getting a little harder now. But this is what exercise 1C should sound like, being played with a 2-bar introduction. Again, because this exercise is harder, you might need to pause and practice it for a bit. However, if you think you're ready, here it is being played again with a 2-bar introduction, so you can play along with me. Right, let's move on to the final part of exercise 1. Exercise 1D. This is the 4th harmonic, and you play this by touching the string above the 9th fret or above the 4th fret. And as strange as it may sound, playing it either in the 9th fret or the 4th fret produces the same pitch. This harmonic is really hard to play, so if you can't get it, don't worry about it. Just keep practicing it and it'll fall into place eventually. And if you've got more than one guitar, try it on another guitar as well, because with some guitars it's easier to play harmonics. But so you know what exercise 1D should sound like, here it is being played with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again with the 2-bar introduction. It's important for me to point out that these exercises don't need to be played with a metronome. I'm just playing them with a metronome so that you can follow what I'm doing or play along if you want to. Right, let's move on to exercise 2. Exercise 2. This exercise goes between the open strings and the 1st harmonic, which is played in the 12th fret. And you can either play the notes fingerpicking style with primary, index, middle, annular, middle, index, or if you prefer you can play it with a plectrum. Now the harmonic can be played with the tip of your finger again, or you could try barring it. Playing with a bar like this has its advantages and its disadvantages. The advantage being it's faster to get between the strings, but the disadvantage being you could mute the previous harmonic you played. However, it's still worth practicing this technique in case you ever need it. Here's exercise 2 being played at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And it's 6/8 time, so there's 6 beats in a bar. Like the previous exercise, you don't have to do this with a metronome if you don't want to. And sometimes it's a good idea just to keep repeating it until you get the notes cleanly. Here's that exercise being played again at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Try and play along with it if you think you're ready. Right, let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise 3. This exercise doesn't involve any open strings. However, there's a lot more movement between the frets. So you might find it quite difficult at first to find the harmonics quickly. But this will develop with practice. Here's exercise 3 being played at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And again, this exercise is in 6/8 time, meaning there's 6 beats in the bar. Here's exercise 3 being played again with a 2-bar introduction at 100 beats per minute. If you think you're ready, try and play along with it. Right, let's move along to the next exercise. Exercise 4. Now, you might find this exercise a little bit difficult, but it'll be for different reasons than the previous exercises. And with this exercise, you're going between the harmonic and a fretted note. And it can get quite confusing when you're not used to playing harmonics. You'll also notice that in the last bar, you play 2 harmonics at the same time. Again, you can play this exercise either fingerpicking style or with the pick, whichever you prefer. This exercise is 4/4 time, and normally we'd play quavers. However, I'm going to play this half time so that it's easier to follow. So here it is at 90 beats per minute with a note per beat. And as usual, we'll have a 2-bar introduction. Here that is again at the same speed, 90 beats per minute, with a 2-bar introduction. If you think you're ready, try playing along. Because this exercise is a little bit harder, here it is a 3rd time at the same speed, so you can try and play along with it. Right, let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise 5. This exercise is harmonics throughout. However, it's concentrating on moving between the frets again. But with this exercise, you can play it very slowly. And it's 6/8 time, but you're only playing a note every 2 beats. So here's what it sounds like being played 6/8 time at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. This exercise really demonstrates how much harder it is to get a harmonic on the 5th fret as opposed to the 12th fret. And if you do have trouble with the 5th fret harmonic, just practice it for a while, making sure the finger is directly above the fret and you're getting the smallest amount of skin contact with the string as possible. Here's that exercise being played again with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again one last time, so you can try and play along with it if you think you're ready. Right, let's move on to the last exercise. Exercise 6. There's a couple of things I need to point out about this exercise. And the first thing is that the first 2 lines are repeated. And the second thing is that the rhythm is a little bit strange. However, you should get the rhythm just by listening through a couple of times first. But remember, these exercises aren't really intended to be practiced with a metronome. I'm just playing with the metronome in case anyone wants to play along. Here's the exercise being played at 100 beats per minute and it's 6/8 time, so there's 6 beats in the bar. And here that is again, so you can try and play along with it. And here that is again, one last time at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction, just in case you want to try and play along with it. Right, we'll finish this video up with a song. For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. Obviously, because of the tutorial we've just done, the part we'll learn for this song is the harmonics part. And it's very easy. In fact, this is probably the easiest song or song part you'll ever do. And what I'd recommend as a goal is to play along with the original, keeping your part bang on time with clean harmonics. And if you can do that, that's really great. With this tune, I've broken it down into 4 parts: the intro, the verse, the chorus, and the outro. The intro and the verse and the chorus and the outro are very similar. However, beware with all of these parts because there are repeats. There's a repeat on the intro, on the verse, and the outro has a repeat and fade. This tune is 4/4 time, and it was originally recorded at about 100 beats per minute. So we'll use a 4/4 time, 100 beats per minute metronome count. Here's what the intro sounds like being played with a 2-bar introduction. I bet you'll agree, this is easier than most of the exercises we've done in this particular tutorial. Anyhow, here it is again with the 2-bar introduction so you can play along with it. The verse is exactly the same thing, but played 4 times. So here's the verse with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again, so you can try and play along with it. The chorus is exactly the same notes, but played at twice the speed of the verse. However, watch out because there's no repeat in the chorus, so it's very short. Here it is being played at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. And here that is again, so you can try and play along with it. The outro is identical to the chorus, except for the fact that on the original it repeats and fades. However, because most people won't be able to do this themselves, for the outro we'll repeat the chorus 8 times. Here's the complete outro at 100 beats per minute with a 2-bar introduction. Here that is again with a 2-bar introduction at 100 beats per minute, so try to play along if you think you can. I'll upload the backing track to this song in a separate video, and that way you won't have to go through the whole tutorial if you want to practice it a couple of times. And if you do want to practice it with the backing track or the original, remember to follow the arrangement, as this tells you what order the parts of the tune should be played in. If you want the tablature for these exercises and this particular song, you can find it in the fingerstyle PDF ebook at www.ebooksforguitar.com. And if you've already got the ebook, you might want to download it again, because I've done a lot of changes to it over the last month or so. If you're new to this channel or you haven't subscribed, please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, and then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And if you want to support the channel, please share the videos and the channel with as many people as you can, because the lessons are financed by the advertising. So the more subscribers the channel gets, the more lessons I can make. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.